Hey guys, and welcome back. Just a quick disclaimer from me before we get into the video. If you've been following me on my social media pages, you would have seen by now that I'm currently collecting Newcastle United match one issued former players, just Newcastle United related boots. I'm banging on about it because just after the window closes, when September comes around, I'm actually going to be making a massive video, I'm sure, of my collection on the channel. I've got some very good pairs. You can see in the video now, I've got them inside the wardrobe. I've got them on top of the wardrobe. I need some storage areas for them. But I just need to get more boots at the minute. That's all I need. So if you guys are selling any, if you guys have any match worn boots on you, just drop me a DM. Let me know on one of my social media pages and I'll get back to you about it. But sorry about that. Let's get into the video now. One thing that's become quite apparent since the takeover is how opposition managers, opposition fans, opposition players and the media portrays Newcastle United now as a football club. You've seen it in the title, you've seen it in the thumbnail. Jurgen Klopp, I think, is the biggest offender for this. Time and time again, he will bash Newcastle, he will take digs, when in reality he's a massive hypocrite. We're going to completely expose this guy today. Last night, if you watched the Manchester United versus Wolves match, Alex Ferguson, before the match started, slagging Newcastle United's performance off against Aston Villa. Just bitterness, just constant bitterness, and I thought today we're going to actually just talk about it and then try and explain why it happens so much in Newcastle now. But as well as that, we do have transfer news, more updates that came out regarding Newcastle United's left back situation, how Lewis Hall, despite what's been reported in the past, he is still on Newcastle United's radar. We also have Sandro Tonali going to Wetherspoons last day. I mean, how the hell has he went to Wetherspoons? We're trying to explain that as well. There's all sorts of different bits and bobs that happened over the last 24 hours. But if you guys are new around here and you like what you're watching, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. Daily news on the channel. We have Manchester City away on Saturday. Huge game of football. Can't wait to see how we get on. There's all sorts. If you like the video, smash that like button as well. And finally, let me know down in the comments section your thoughts on Klopp and Alex Ferguson. Why do these two keep bashing us? Plenty to get into. I think it's best to start this video off by just getting the negative stuff out of the way first. Let's talk about Jurgen Klopp and Sir Alex Ferguson now, so we can then move on to the positive Newcastle United news afterwards. I'm going to rant for a little bit here. I can't stand Klopp. I don't like him at all. I think when it comes to opposition managers, this guy is the one that mentions Newcastle the most. He constantly takes digs at us. He constantly references to clubs in matches that have no relevancy to us. I mean, the latest one, he's taking digs at Jason Tindo after the Liverpool versus Chelsea game. I mean, what does that have to do with us? We've got nothing to do with that game, and he still finds a way to mention Newcastle. I'm sick of this guy. When the takeover first happened, when Newcastle first got the official announcement, he just compares us to the Super League. I mean, how the hell can he compare Newcastle United's takeover to the Super League? I mean, a league that was going to break away from the Premier League, was going to take all the world's best teams into it, in a structure where no other teams could actually go into it. It was just the best of the best making all the money. And just a reminder as well, Liverpool club statement wanted to be in the Super League. They wanted to do it, and yet this guy has the arrogance and just the eagerness to be able to compare Newcastle's takeover to that. I mean, how can he compare the PAF's takeover Newcastle United to the Super League? I mean, it's a fair, legitimate takeover that had to be proved in a court of law to make sure it had no connections to the Saudi Arabia government. We had to make sure we got all that approved from the Premier League, which we did. The takeover then happened, and he somehow compares it to the Super League. So that was the first instance. And then he has the cheek to actually come out in a separate interview and go, we Liverpool can't compete with Newcastle United due to how much money they are spending now as a club. What? What is this guy on about? He's just... Oh, don't even get me started. How is he whinging about Newcastle spending money in the transfer window? You've just put £150 million into Casado a couple of days ago. I wouldn't be surprised now if Klopp comes down to interview this week and blames Newcastle United for Liverpool not getting Casado. Oh, well, we finished fifth, Newcastle finished fourth, or we won the Champions League, or what happened? Oh, I can imagine Klopp actually blaming Newcastle for that. He's just such an arsehole. He just continues to take these little digs at us. I can't believe he actually complained about the transfer budget spent. Listen, mate, you sold Coutinho for 160 million or something. You pumped out into a brand new squad. You got the most expensive goalkeeper in history. Van Dijk, for a certain amount of time, was the most expensive centre-half in history. Liverpool spend a lot of money. Newcastle only spending loads of money now because of the fact that we spent nothing on the Mike Ashley, and the ownership has to catch up with the fact that teams such as Liverpool have spent so much throughout the years. Newcastle would spent what, 300, 400 million pounds the last couple of windows. It's not actually too much. Yes, it's one of the highest spenders in the league, but a team like Manchester City, Chelsea, your big boys, they're still spending more than us. So how you can kind of single Newcastle out and whinge about that, I don't get. And then a couple of days ago, again after the Chelsea game, got nothing to do with Newcastle, he starts taking digs at Jason Tinder with the brand new Premier League ruling where the assistant can't go inside the box. We're just rent free in his head. Everything has to be Newcastle is just constantly running through his mind. I've had enough of Klopp now. I've had enough of this guy. I'm hoping to God when we play Liverpool we can just shut him up and he can moan about someone after the game. I think Ten Hag's quite bad for it as well. You've seen in the Amazon Prime documentary how Eddie Howard even used Ten Hag's comments to benefit himself. But I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as Klopp, and I think we as fans this season and for the foreseeable future, we should expect opposition managers to be like this. They just will be arseholes, they will take digs at Newcastle, they will be bitter about everything. And speaking of bitterness, let's talk about Fergie now, because he came out before the game yesterday in an interview and he was saying how 5-1 was quite a flattering scoreline for Newcastle. Aston Villa were better than Newcastle somehow. They were better than us. I mean, okay. Now, to be fair with Fergie, I know some people might think it's a bit cliche, but he is 81 years old. I think it's hardly plausible, but he did actually watch the game, but he's 81, so chances are he will just forget stuff, and he will, obviously, in interviews, for example, he will just come out and just chat utter crap. He is an old man, we do have to understand that. But if you've seen Alex Ferguson's interviews throughout the years, you would have known, last 10 years, last 20 years, every single chance he gets, he will hate on Newcastle. I don't know why he hates us so much. I think it's because of the bitterness of the fact that Alan Shearer did in fact turn him down back in '96. But even then, Manchester United won all the trophies anyway, so it's not like we took anything off them. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. But Alex Ferguson, it's not like he's getting interviewed all the time, so I don't mind him so much. But Klopp is definitely one that I'm just not even going to listen to. I'm sick of him. And any opposition manager as well that want to take digs at Newcastle, it's not going to end well, so I highly recommend them not to do that. As for the transfer situation regarding the left back, as I mentioned quite a lot in my video yesterday of the current situation regarding Kieran Tierney and Mark Cucurella, it's now been reported since that Lewis Hall is still a possibility, someone that Newcastle had previously went in for. It got rejected by Chelsea, but the opportunity is still there. Newcastle had to be smart with the funds that they spend on the FFP. It seems to get the impression now in social media that Newcastle are quite limited. Newcastle had to look for the right opportunity for them. But after the left back, it doesn't look like any other signs were coming. It doesn't actually look like it's going to be finalised with a left back that will come in. Not sure if you'll start for Dan Burn, who's going to be there for squad rotation. But regardless of what happens, I think it's at least good for now. I think Newcastle next season, you definitely look at a right-hand side attack. I think centre-half, I'm surprised we haven't touched centre-half. I definitely think that can bite us in the backside. All it takes is a Fabian Shaw or Botman injury. I'm assuming Newcastle would then put Dan Burn centre-half before you bring the likes of Lascelles and Dummett in. But I definitely think we are quite limited in that area, so I'm shocked and a bit surprised we haven't actually brought a centre-half in. But a left-back's good. We're already bringing a right-back / left-back anyway, so we're already bringing a defender. A second defender, I think it would be smart regardless if it's centre-half or left-back. I'm just a bit surprised it wasn't a centre-half. But honestly, Lewis Hall, if we can get him done, I think it's a great shout. I really do like him a lot. I would prefer him over the other two. If there is an option to buy after the season closes, an option, not an obligation, it definitely has to be an option. But there is that potential where Newcastle can actually sign the left back after their loan spell at Newcastle. I definitely think we've got ourselves a good deal. It just depends on the FFP, how we can get around the initial loan deal. Can we pay the money next season? Does that have to be all up front? It's just all sorts of different factors you got into. Does Newcastle have to pay 100% of the wage fee? Once we get our part sorted with a potential deal, I think we will bring a left back in. I think we'll finish with a left back. I don't think it'll be anyone else after the loan deal comes in. I'll be shocked if we don't get a left back or centre half. Surely Newcastle will bring in a defender. The last thing we want to do is handicap ourselves going into the Champions League campaign. We definitely do need that squad depth. Eddie Howe wants the player. Let's make sure we get that player in. But before we finish this video off, I thought we'd talk a bit about Sandro Tonali's trip at Wetherspoons yesterday, because I can't believe I'm saying that in a sentence, by the way. Sandro Tonali was spotted at Newcastle's Wetherspoons last night. I definitely think somebody at the training grounds just took a piss out of him. I bet Sandro was asked for potential recommendations. Where should I go tonight? Go to Wetherspoons, someone's taught him, and he's actually went. So I'm sure he would have been shocked when the chicken strips came out the microwave. But listen, he's understanding Newcastle culture. He's taking in the atmosphere. I just can't believe Sandro Tonali was in Wetherspoons last night. I definitely didn't think I'd ever be saying that in a sentence. But I appreciate you guys watching anyway. Amanda Staveley is actually now on Instagram. She already has about 20,000 followers in the space of 2 hours. So popular lady. Make sure you go check out her Instagram if you haven't done so already. But I do appreciate you guys watching. I wish you all the best. I'll see you all tomorrow for the daily updates. What's going to happen in this left back situation. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.